afternoon's top stories. Prime Minister Harris presents 2017 budget. 6.2 magnitude earthquake rocks Trinidad and Tobago, and Texas college students protest against, quote, alt-right leader Richard Spencer speaking on campus. Good afternoon. Welcome to the ZIZ Midday Newscast. Today is Wednesday, December 7th, 2016. I am Shaira Flanders. Nationally, Prime Minister Dr. the Honorable Timothy Harris delivered the 2017 budget address on Wednesday morning during a special meeting of National Assembly. The budget totaled $712 million, with the Ministry of Finance receiving the largest portion of just over $245 million. Dr. Harris praised his cabinet for the work they have done since taking office and noted that the outlook for 2017 is positive. Parliament adjourns until Thursday, when the leader of the opposition is expected to respond. All other members will have 90 minutes each to make their presentation, but may have an additional 30 minutes each. An escaped prisoner is now behind bars following swift action by police. According to a police source, Sylvester Hodge, better known as Munkush, escaped custody on Tuesday evening but was apprehended later that night. The police have not given any details as to how Hodge escaped custody or the circumstances surrounding his capture. ZIZ will keep you updated as more information becomes available. Meanwhile, the police are also investigating a robbery at Caribel Boutique on Tuesday after business hours. The details are still unclear, but ZIZ understands that late Tuesday afternoon, an armed assailant or assailants entered the establishment and robbed at least one staff member. No one was reportedly injured. An important milestone in the Ministry of Education's reform process was reached with the recent presentation of the National Student Progress Report booklet. The document, which was presented to head teachers at a ceremony at the Customs Conference Room, was the result of months of hard work spearheaded by the Chief Education Officer, Dr. Tricia Esdale, and a team of specialists and stakeholders of the Ministry of Education. According to Dr. Esdale, the Ministry of Education is taking steps to ensure that an explicit grading model and larger framework for assessment are developed. She said the booklet is a step in transforming the education system.
Grading models typically employ formal rules for making judgments on a standard set of criteria. The intended purposes being achieving more objectivity in grading and increasing transparency for students and parents. Today, with the presentation of the National Student Progress Report booklet, we take a significant step forward in this regard. Transforming our education system will require not only bold government action, but a change in attitudes among education officials, teachers, parents, and students.
In referencing the ministry's theme for the academic year 2016 to 2017, Education for All, Embracing Change, Securing the Future, Minister of Education Honorable Sean Richards said the creation of the booklet is part of that change. He said the booklet comes because of a need to strengthen assessment in schools.
The need for the standardization of the education sector in areas of reporting and assessment is one of the reasons behind creating this booklet. As part of our education sector strategic plan, a policy goal was identified which speaks to the need to strengthen the quality and relevance of education at all levels to improve learning outcomes.
The establishment of the learning assessment system is to ensure that the performance of all students is carefully measured, documented, and reported based on one model. The report booklet will service public primary schools in the Federation. Private primary schools are welcome to participate as well. The goal is to have it implemented in September 2017 after training and the necessary adjustments are made. Friday's gospel explosion at the Flow Grounds has been described as a success, not only because of the quality of the performances of the various artists, but an act of generosity during the concert. We have more in this report.
Gospel Explosion 2016 proved to be more than just a concert. The event, organized by Redeem Promotions and local-based gospel music record label Jive Music, saw several persons committing to following Christ, but also a woman who was in need getting assistance from concert patrons. Introducing what is known as the Blessing Basket, promoter from Redeem Promotions Journal Auboyne urged the gathering to give into the need of a woman whose son needed to pay $10,000 or else face time in prison.
This woman called me and she said, I need some tickets. I don't really have the money, but I have a need and I need to sow. Hallelujah. And she just kept buying tickets. She said, I sold over $2,000 and I have a need. My son need help. And if he don't get that help, he's going to prison.
Patrons from all around the grounds began donating money to the woman. At the end of the night, the tally topped over $7,000.
The figure now for the lady, $7,000. $7.70. 777.
An official presentation of the money will be made to the woman on the 15th of this month at the first of a 3-night crusade at the New Birth Gospel Tabernacle tent in Cabbage Tree, Keon. Meanwhile, the concert proved to be a hit as several local and international acts took to the stage and ministered the gospel ably through music. These include Nick Wan, Dominic Brooks, Divine Providence, I Kenna, the Door Brothers from Nevis, Sean English from Guyana, and The Anointed Veil, a jive music recording artist who also launched his debut album on the night. The event was rounded out with Atta Boafo from Ghana, popularly known for the song Double Double. Gospel Explosion continues with 3 nights of crusade from the 15th to the 17th of December at the big blue and white tent in Cabbage Tree, Keon, 7:15 p.m. nightly.
And on the regional scene, a 6.2 magnitude earthquake followed by at least 2 strong aftershocks rocked Trinidad and Tobago late on Tuesday, shaking buildings, sending items skating off supermarket shelves and triggering fear in residents. The first tremor hit around 5:42 p.m. local time, just 16 kilometers south-southeast of Scarborough, Tobago, at a depth of around 29 kilometers. Almost immediately, social media was flooded with posts from people who had felt the shaking. Later in the night, around 11:38 p.m., a 4.4 tremor struck 27 kilometers west of Scarborough, followed by a 4.9 quake just after midnight, 15 kilometers west of Scarborough. In Guyana, an East Bank Demerara woman met a tragic death in her home Monday morning. Here's more.
Tragedy has struck an East Bank Demerara family after a 30-year-old disc jockey was killed when her bathroom wall collapsed and pinned her to the floor. This happened at the house located at Second Entrance Junior Staff Compound, Little Diamond in the East Bank of Demerara Monday morning. She is Shoya Europe. Her uncle, Nigel Emmanuel, told Nightly News that he suspected something was amiss after repeated calls went unanswered.
Actually, last night when I came home, I was calling at the back door. Calling, no answer. So I go around to the front, no answer. So a guy just be here. I was working in the interior. Right. Okay? A guy that just stay here with her. He tell me, Nigel, if you check the back door and check the front door and the door lock, something have happened to show you.
The house is still under construction and has been for a while now. Emmanuel said that he then made entry into the house just to check on his 30-year-old niece.
So I said, man, pull this window for me. And I jump in. When I come in now, I walk into the bedroom. And I call her, Shoya, no answer. And I come here.
When 30-year-old Shoya Europe was taken out of the debris, she had already passed away. Police have initially determined that the death was accidental.
I noticed this wall like this. Well, remember now the house is under construction, so there's only one light in the bedroom. Right. So I said, flash a lighter for me. So when he flashed the lighter, I noticed, and he said, like this. The concrete wall is on your neck. So I rather call it for the neighbor, kneel.
It was reported that the concrete wall which caved in and killed Europe was supposed to have been taken down weeks ago after another wall was built around the bathroom area. That never happened. Travis Chase, HGP Nightly News.
And on the international scene, Texas A&M students protested against alt-right leader Richard Spencer speaking on campus. Spencer was invited to speak at an event organized by a member of the community. More in this report.
Hundreds, probably more than 1,000 demonstrators have gathered here at Texas A&M University in protest of the speech of Richard Spencer taking place inside of the building here. Some tense moments earlier when some of the demonstrators apparently tried to get inside and disrupt the speech. They were stopped by police in riot gear, holding them back. Inside the hall where he was speaking, there was a mix of supporters and demonstrators, about 400 people inside. I'd say at least half of them were there in protest, but they allowed him to speak. There were some exchanges between the audience and Richard Spencer. Richard Spencer says he rejects the term white supremacist, but he went on to say that it was white men who conquered this country and therefore it should belong to them.
Whether it's nice to say that or not, we won. And we got to define what America means. We got to define what this continent means. America, at the end of the day, belongs to white men.
One of the main points of Richard Spencer is a call to end immigration in the United States, both legal and illegal, except for people of European heritage as perhaps the one exception. It's a message clearly most of this campus does not seem to support.
Many of Mosul's wounded are being taken to underprepared hospitals in Iraq's Kurdish region, where supplies are running thin. Short of almost nearly everything, the doctors and the nurses work non-stop without pay. Here's more.
The pain is excruciating. At the age of 3, Noor knows all too well the brutality of war. She was injured after an airstrike hit the house next door. It was occupied by ISIL fighters, her aunt tells us. Her leg was burned. The bone has multiple fractures. She already had surgery, including a skin graft, but it's not enough.
She needs more treatment. She still has broken bones in her leg, but she will need to go overseas for that. The problem is that she doesn't have a passport.
Everyone in this ward has a similar story, like Ali. My stomach hurts, he whispers. His younger brother shares the same bed. His pelvis is broken. He tries to explain what happened, but is too weak, so he gives up. The war to retake Mosul has plunged into a bloody urban battle. The toll on civilians and soldiers is rising at an alarming rate, especially among children. And the nearest hospital is nearly 100 kilometers away in Erbil. It's overloaded and are running out. Here, the majority of patients are Iraqi soldiers. The injured have been dispatched to several medical facilities like this old emergency hospital. The hospital here wasn't ready for such an influx of patients. There's a shortage of nearly everything. This is the emergency room, and most of the beds had to be taken away to other wards. The staff have been working round the clock in less than optimal conditions.
There's a lot of pressure on us. At the moment, we're not getting our salaries, but we still come. The hospital is old, and sometimes we have to put the patients on the floor because there's no space. We need urgent help.
There are only 4 operation theaters here, even if on this day alone, 30 surgeries were carried out.
There are up to 50 new patients every day. We receive patients who lost their legs or arms, their stomach open. They have very difficult wounds. From mortars, explosions, airstrikes, there are many women and children.
And often the patients cannot receive all the care needed here. Like Selim, who has a broken pelvis. He was detained by ISIL for months. The fighters exploded the building he was held in before fleeing. He will have to wait, roaming around on his wheelchair in search of a place to be. Under such conditions, doctors are obliged to make difficult decisions. They need to dismiss some patients to make space for those already on their way. The ambulances and cars taking them back to the camps are crammed. Among them, Ali and his little brother. Despite the cold and rain, they will have to wait out their pain and agony in a tent. Hud Abdul Hamid, Al Jazeera, Erbil.
And now for the weather. Present weather is fair with a moderate breeze of 40 miles per hour from the northeast. Seas are moderate to locally rough with swells reaching 7 feet. Small craft operators and sea bathers should continue to exercise caution on the northern and eastern coastlines of the island. The weather forecast predicts mostly sunny skies today and mostly clear skies tonight with little or no shower activity. Sunset today will be at 5:37 p.m. and sunrise tomorrow will be at 6:29 a.m. That brings us to the end of the ZIZ Midday Newscast. Join us this evening for these stories and more in detail. Thank you so much for tuning in. I am Shaira Flanders. Have a good one.